Hello, I'm just testing something out. You alright? Can you hear me?
Hello?
Hello?
That's better. I can hear you now.
Alright, I'm just testing something out. So
What is it?
testing. A voice recording app?
I don't like it. Get rid of it.
Okay. That's the end of the test.
You sound really faint.
Oh, I'm talking from far away and you're on speakerphone. Am I on speakerphone in your car?
No, I'm still in the office and you're through my Bluetooth headset.
Okay, let me try something else. Let me put it to my face. Okay, you're on my face now, so this is test number 2.
That's better.
Right. Okay, good. Right. Okay. Right. I'm going to go and make a cup of tea, and I'll test if this recording has worked.
I disagree. But fine, yeah. Do what you want, mate.
Love you, bye.
Welcome to Nerdschatting, movie, TV, comic chat. Thanks for tuning in.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Nerdschatting podcast. My name is Ben. I'm the...
Wait. They might be listening during the day. Just because it's evening for you.
This fucking guy has done me already.
Can I just say, though, if we ever said that before, it doesn't really matter. Anyone could be in a time zone right now. Anyone's got a time zone.
Ben, please, start again, please. I'll edit that out.
You fucking better edit this bit out. Because if you don't, I will. Anyway, clear my voice. Good evening, everyone, or good morning, or good afternoon, whenever it is you're listening to this. We're recording at night, so it's evening, and it's Nerdschatting Nights. Hashtag sexy time. Good evening, and welcome to the Nerdschatting podcast. My name is Ben. I'm the social media guy for this podcast. And if you get in touch with us on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram, just by searching for Nerdschatting, you'll be talking to me, and I am the universe's biggest idiot. Today, I am joined by Tasmanian Devil in human form, James, a.k.a. Jimmy Bingers, and... say hello, James.
Hello.
And on the other end of the phone line, because he's quarantined at the moment, is history's greatest monster and regular show host, Nate.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, wow. Oh, it's so good. Oh, it's so good. Can you see how much oomph he's putting into it?
He's trying.
Right.
I'm feeling very, very much under the weather. I really am.
Yeah, you don't sound great, but, you never sound great. Anyway, I'm going to say on today's podcast, we'll be discussing all the regular topics. So, broken news, which is all the latest news that is so old that no one really cares about it anymore. And also, we'll be talking Nerdscene, where we talk about stuff that we've watched and read and you may or may not enjoy. And finally, today's topic is us talking in detail about the latest Avengers Infinity War trailer, which was, spoilers,
Epic.
epic and incredible.
I don't like how showbiz is being. It's showing me up. My normal stick on this is normally quite like, yeah, what do you want? We're talking, shut up. Whereas you're being very good, very showbiz. I don't like it.
Why, thank you. I put a little bit of effort into this.
He's
Not
actually
much.
wearing a tux. It's amazing.
I am. No, Oscar, please. Yeah. Right, anyway, let's get on with the broken news. Broken news. So this is the broken news section. As I said, this is the bit where we talk about broken news. News so old, it's already broken. It's not breaking. Nate, we're going to let you lead on the things when I read out the intro bit. Is that okay? Because a lot of this stuff you've dumped on here.
Your show business has slipped already. I love it.
Who cares what you have to say?
No one
Right.
does.
I was just going to spend the whole podcast just ripping on you.
First bit of broken news. There is a new Justice League creative team on the comic book, on the Rebirth line. Not Rebirth. It's not Rebirth anymore, is it?
No, it's not. It's I don't know what they're calling it now. They're calling it like DC Legacy or something.
Something along those lines.
Sorry?
Something along those lines. That's right. Yeah.
So they're rebooting Justice League again, standard. It's getting an issue 1 again. It's DC Nation, I think they're calling it.
Right.
But the specifically why this is important, and I'm sure loads of other titles are getting number ones, but for us as massive Scott Snyder fans, Scott Snyder did an incredible run on Detective Comics and then Batman. He's done a few really good bits on Superman and loads of other indie stuff. But Scott Snyder, spoilers, is the writer of Justice League, along with how do you pronounce this guy's name? George Jimenez, but it's like
Jimenez?
I want to say it's Jorge Jimenez, but I think we're both wrong or both right.
Is he
but no
Spanish?
one really knows. No one really, and it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter because all that matters is his artwork is incredible. It's beautiful, and it's Jim Chung as well.
You see, he drew Rebirth Superman, and I didn't like that very much.
You were wrong. So
Of course, I was
right,
wrong.
okay.
No, I like the story, but I found the artwork a little bit. I like this artwork. This is great radio, by the way, when I say this artwork. But the artwork that's on on this news article for comicbookmovie.com, talking about the new creative lineup, that's a fantastic image because I feel like that's had an awful lot of time to be worked on, but. I don't know, week to week or fortnight to fortnight or month to month, whatever it's going to be. Oh, what is it going to be, by the way? Is it going to be fortnight to fortnight? Or is it going to...
It's probably bi-weekly. What does that mean? Is it twice a week or once every 2 weeks? Nobody knows.
Or once every 2 months. It can mean...
absolutely.
It can mean either.
Maybe
or,
when
or
they just
both,
want it?
Or neither. But it's going to... So they're going back to a number 1 title as well. So they're going to go up to 40-something, whatever it is... for Rebirth relaunch numbering, and now they're going back to number 1.
Yeah.
Are you... So after... was it last week that you said that you'd quit comic books apart from Doomsday Clock? Are you going to pick this up?
Yeah, I am, yeah.
Oh, well, that lasted all the 5 minutes, didn't it, James?
Standard
Didn't
name.
it, didn't it, Jimmy Bingers, eh?
Yeah, here we go.
what?
Yeah, I know.
Makes
I'm
a
not gonna-
stand, draws a line in the sand, and then instantly walks over it. Unbelievable.
What's wrong with that?
He's showbiz.
Nothing's wrong with that at all. Shall I read out what Scott has to say about this, Nate?
If you like.
Okay, so he has to say, I am extremely honoured and happy to be able to launch Justice League with Scott and Jorge. Oh, this is what I beg your pardon. This is someone called Jim Chung. So he said he had that to say. He also goes on to say, it has been many years since I've had the pleasure of working at DC, but when Scott first mentioned this opportunity, I knew I couldn't say no. His energy and excitement has been infectious, and I can't wait to share what we have in store. I can't think of a more perfect book to return to DC on. These characters are ones that I grew up loving, and the prospect of being able to leave my mark on them leaves me thrilled. And Snyder goes on to say...
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Interesting move how he's saying about coming back to DC. So he was a Marvel artist and independent for a while. And it's interesting that like Brian Michael Bendis, who was one of Marvel's architects, has moved over to DC as well. There's a big shift in comic books at the minute, going, the sort of I want to say PKE meter. Ghostbusters reference me there.
Nice.
It's sort of swinging over
Don't
towards
humour him,
DC.
James. Don't humour him.
Is
It
that
wasn't
is
nice.
that because DC Comics is sort of in a lull or something like this?
Good question.
Because DC Films are obviously in a lull, and so I don't know.
No, you're right. Marvel Comics though have definitely taken a hit lately, and they've had criticisms because they've had many titles, different titles, and no one really knows what's the sort of truest one to read, and there's a lot of criticism for it, and I don't think there's very. I think people have criticised the quality of the writing as well, and DC Comics on the other hand has actually been selling a lot and doing very well. So it's just interesting that all these big names are sort of shifting themselves over.
Having said that, though, Nate, having said all of that, whilst I agree with what you've just said, last week, I want to say again, on this podcast, you said the writing on some of the DC comic books you were picking up had fallen away and you weren't very happy.
Yeah, no, you're right. But what I'm saying is the big names are moving over and they've got plans in the works. Like Brian Michael Bendis' first issue on Action Comics is issue 1000, which hasn't come out yet. So that's what I'm saying. And
Yeah.
between Jim Chung moving over to DC and doing Justice League, well, although obviously he's been doing some work on it, it hasn't been released yet. So there's a big shift going over there. And it's interesting that sales are good, but quality maybe isn't great. But they're getting in these names,
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna quickly read out what Snyder had to say. He said, Justice League has been the golden ring for me since I came to DC. The story I have planned is something I've been building towards through Dark Knight's Metal, and I can't wait to tell it in the biggest way possible. And to have megastar Jim Chung as one partner and rising superstar George Jimenez as my other partner, doesn't matter.
It's easy for you.
I'm just thrilled to get to work. Now, Nate, did you finish Dark Knight's Metal, or was that one of the other comics that you binned?
No, that's one of the ones I stopped actually, and it's not because the quality wasn't good. It's I binged the first. I didn't read it to begin with. I binged the first 3, I think it was, and then I started reading the tie-ins. The tie-ins weren't that great in my opinion, and because of the other entropy of bad comics I had before that, I just decided to stop everything. I probably should finish off the title, the Dark Knight's Metal.
Entropy of big words.
I don't even know what he
Big
meant.
words. No, me neither.
I don't know.
Right, I'm going to move on from that story, Nate. That's great, but let's move on.
Yeah, move on. It's a good news story, basically, that one.
It is a good news story. Even though we did take a bit of a shit on it. But it's a good news story,
It's all
right?
right.
Yeah,
It's okay.
fine.
It's okay.
It's fine. Okay, right. Next bit of news. I'm saying that so when I listen and do the timestamps, I know it's the next bit of news. Behind the curtain.
Always
right.
thinking. Always thinking, Ben. Doing a great job, by the way, Ben.
Thanks, mate. Cheers. Now, this is a bit of a spoiler, so I am going to, again, check in the episode description for the time codes. If you don't want anything spoiled for the Venom movie, skip ahead a little bit. So again, spoilers from now. Apparently, according to this title, there is going to be no Venom in the Venom movie. Nate, explain.
So this is classic Sony. It's just got Sony written all over it. They've released I think like an overview of the storyline plot of the Venom movie, and they've not only have they changed vast amounts of the way that it works. Eddie Brock's now an ex-con. He has a strange relationship with his wife. He's fallen asleep drunk in the park one night, and the Venom symbiote lands on him. At the same time, a second symbiote lands on someone else. It's twisting the storyline completely from what we know as Venom from the comics, and it's saying that the Venom suit itself won't actually manifest itself at all, if at all, until the final battle, in which case it will only be 2 or 3 minutes of it, and it will look considerably different to how it does in the comics. It kind of makes you think, what is the point in calling it a Venom movie? Why even make this movie?
Nate, that wouldn't, you know me, I love a trailer, and that would explain that this trailer, when we watched it, was rubbish, and there was no Venom. And everyone most people said, yeah, it was okay, but there was a Venom trailer with no Venom.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
this-
There was.
That was a big criticism, and there was like an online thing of like, show this to someone who's not a comic book fan and get them to tell you what the film's about. And
No one could.
I couldn't do it.
She was like, "Isn't this that thing that's Venom? Isn't it something to do with Spider-Man?" But like, she knows that because obviously she's not art. But generally, I think most people are like, "I have no idea what this is."
This is going to be a flop. Put it out there, Bosh.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I want to give it the benefit of the doubt because I'm playing devil's advocate tonight because I'm hosting this show. However, at the same time, this isn't obviously the best news coming out of a fairly underperforming trailer. So if it is in fact proven to be true and Venom doesn't appear for 95% of the movie and shows up in the last battle for 10 minutes or whatever, or 5 minutes, that's a huge disappointment, and it's another misstep from Sony. However, maybe, like we've seen in the past a little bit, maybe they're releasing this to have a little bit of testing the water. What do the fans think if we were to do that? If the fan reaction is going to be as bad as it has been.
But they're fully down the road with this. They filmed it and...
Yeah, but it's in the edit, and you can fix a lot, change a lot, and ruin a lot in the edit. So who knows?
Yeah. Apparently, there's going to be a lot of like tendrils and like web type things coming off the back of him. Very, very carnagey, very venomy. You know, like when the symbiote loses control. Rather than he's sort of in control of it. I'm really not sure.
No, me neither. Well, when's it coming out? October-ish? Who knows?
Sure, why not?
We'll review it anyway. We'll watch it, or we won't. Nothing matters, James. Nothing matters, JB.
Wait to DVD.
Wait for the DVD. Wait for Netflix, which you don't have.
Well,
No
I
Netflix.
was just going to say, James, are you going to watch it? Because it's kind of like as a die-hard Spider-Man fan, you kind of, the die-hard Spider-Man fans probably should watch it, but as a non-die-hard Spider-Man fan, are you interested?
I'm interested because I know a little bit about the character and I'd like to see it, but actually, trailer's not giving it to me. This news is not giving it to me, and I would happily wait to see it when it comes out on any video streaming service.
Personally, I think that they've made a misstep in making this film. But however, they've shot it now. They've got a big star attached, even if Nate doesn't like him.
I don't like him.
He's filmed it. He's come out, talked about it. It's in the edit now. However, I do think that if they saved this character for a standalone Spider-Man film as part of the MCU, maybe Marvel could have got him right. Because if you don't get him absolutely nailed on right, the fans aren't going to love it.
No.
And I think that Marvel have got almost like they've got a sixth sense when it comes to moving their characters from the page and putting them on the screen in the way that the fans like, changed enough so it's in keeping with the MCU that they've built, but it's still relevant. And I think that Marvel could have maybe done something very, very good with this.
Yeah, I think you're right.
At the same time, hey, what do I know? And what do we know? And it might be one of the greatest comic book movies ever made. It won't be. But it might be.
Absolutely won't be.
But it might be.
It's got a bit of Fantastic Four about it, hasn't it? Because it's looking like it's not going to be good, and if that's the case, then it's like no one can get it right.
Yeah, well, absolutely. If it isn't good, and it does tie in with the MCU Peter Parker, who's probably going to be in it, then they've ruined Venom.
Absolutely. And Fantastic Four was on Channel 4 this weekend. I spoke to you guys. You said avoid it. It was avoided.
Oh, was that the 2015 Josh Trank?
Yeah, I tapped out.
Yeah, well done. Right, I'm moving us on, Nate. I'm moving us on. You were happy to move on? Good. Next bit of comic book news. Well, it's not comic book news. It's movie news. Danny Boyle confirms recent James Bond 25 directing rumours, but it all depends on how the script turns out. So, Nate, your thoughts on this?
Okay, well, I said this in the text to you. I'm very flatline on Danny Boyle. I know he's a great director, good, pleased that he's a good director, but I don't care. And I have a huge level of apathy for James Bond since the last few films. So I don't care until I see a trailer.
What are you telling me you don't really like the last couple James Bonds?
The last couple of James Bonds have been bad, James.
I really liked it. Uh-oh.
I think the last good James Bond film was Casino Royale. Quantum of Solace. We've talked about this many times, but I don't know if we've actually spoken to JB about it. Quantum of Solace is a half-written bad movie.
That is rubbish.
Well, it was in the middle of the right strike. You can't
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Skyfall isn't that good. It really isn't that good. I don't think.
Okay.
And Spectre, I
Was
can
great.
understand what they tried to do, but
It was great.
It wasn't that good.
I
All right, tell you
enjoyed
what,
it.
Spectre. See the fight he has in Spectre in the train with Dave Bautista,
Yeah.
Drax.
Yeah.
Not one bit of blood or broken suit or anything. You transpose that back to Casino Royale.
He's getting battered.
He is battered. He's covered in bruises and sweat and blood, and he's icing himself and stitching himself up. What happened in 4 films? He's turned into Roger Moore James Bond again, where nothing can, unstraighten his tie. Nah.
But good story. It was a good
Now,
story.
I'm going to go back to this news article with Danny Boyle coming on. Danny Boyle does. I think he makes great movies. I'm going to say that Trainspotting is up there with is one of my favourite films of all time. It is very, very good.
It is very
but
good.
I was a teenager in the 90s. It came out in 96 when I was 18. So, and you must have been 18 as well.
Yeah.
So, God, that's just giving away our age a little bit, isn't it? Oh dear. But for me, Trainspotting is one of the greatest films ever. And Danny Boyle and his writing partner John Hodge, who's working on the script for this Bond movie,
Yeah.
co-wrote pretty much every Danny Boyle film there's ever been. 28 Days Later is a fantastic take on the zombie genre.
Yep.
It's a film about zombies, and they're not zombies, they're infected with some kind of rage virus. I think Daniel Boyle is a great director. I think he directs action really well. I think he directs talking very, very well. And he's kind of directed a Bond scene anyway, because at the 2012 Olympics,
he did that,
James
didn't he?
Bond went to see the
Yeah.
Queen, and then the Queen and Bond jumped out of a helicopter and parachuted into the Olympic arena.
Your movie memory banks are
Technically,
amazing.
that wasn't movies, but you know.
Yeah, we know what I mean.
But what I'm going to say is, I think that Danny Boyle has been courted by the Bond producers since then, and I think he's finally sort of gone, do you know what? I could take a run at this. If I can do a script and I'm happy with it, yeah, I'll take a run at directing a Bond film. Why not?
A lot of pressure, isn't it, though?
Well, there is, but to be honest with you, he can't do much worse than what's come recently, in my opinion. And I think probably Nate would echo that, because...
I'm not going to argue with you two because you're strong.
Well, I don't know. I mean, like you say, Nate, you're not very happy. Well, not very happy, but you have a little bit of apathy. There's that word again, apathy.
You know what my cynical head would say?
Yeah, go on then.
What's happening in cinema at the minute, Ben? What's everything? What's in the zeitgeist? What's
Sci-fi.
sci-fi?
You reckon they're going to put Bond in space?
Moonraker.
Right, I'm going to read out what he has to say. Okay, this is Danny Boyle. We're working on a script right now, and it all depends on that, really. I'm working on a Richard Curtis script at the moment. That's not Bond. We hope to start shooting that in 6 or 7 weeks. Then Bond would be right at the end of the year. But we're working on them both right now. We've got an idea. John Hodge, the screenwriter, and I have got this idea, and John is writing it at the moment. And that all depends. It all depends on how it turns out. It would be foolish of me to give any of it away. So they are actively producing a Bond 25 script. We say Bond 25 because it would be the 25th Bond film, just in case.
The one thing I do like about it is the candidness of it. Candor of it? Candid? I don't know.
You appreciate their candour, their honesty, their openness.
Yeah, because they're like, look, this might not happen, but yeah, I am working on it. All right, just back off, man. You know.
Well, cool.
Oh, I get it. Let's move on to the next news story.
This will be quite quick.
This will be quick, will it? Okay.
Yep.
So a New Gods movie is happening. So DC New Gods is they are a race of people, and it's going to be directed by A Wrinkle in Time director Ava DuVernay. And apparently A Wrinkle in Time is not very good. And Nate is now going to explain to you, Jimmy Bingers, Human Tasmanian Devil, what the New Gods are.
Tell me.
Who the New Gods are.
I'm interested.
Go.
Okay, first things first. Apparently, A Wrinkle in Time, it is quite good. It just didn't do very good at the box office.
Don't correct me. Apparently it's terrible. Move on.
No, apparently it's good, but it just came out when Black Panther was out, and that I don't know if you know, but that's made quite a bit of money.
Because it's actually a really good film?
Agreed.
Yeah,
smashed it.
Moving on. Alright, New Gods. So in DC Comics, there's not Thor and Odin and all that lot, because they died in Ragnarok, as is the Norse mythology.
Okay.
And when they died, a new set of gods were created by, the universe, and these are different. These are different versions of those, and they're split into two worlds. There's Ben, help me. What's the one that Orion's from?
Not Apocalypse, the other one.
No, yeah, not Apocalypse. The other one.
Yeah,
I
I forget as well.
Yeah, there's a one part of the gods are like good and peaceful and genteel, even though it turns out later on they're actually warmongering horrible people. But it doesn't matter. And then the other side of them are
New Genesis.
New Genesis. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
There we go.
Of course I bloody Googled it, JP. What are you talking about?
I just don't know.
So some of them are from New Genesis and some are from Apocalypse. And
they're
it's
related in different ways.
Yeah.
The two leaders, there's the All Father on New Genesis, and there's Darkseid on Apocalypse. And the kind of key players are like, there's a guy called Metron who sits in a chair and knows everything, and there's a guy called Orion who's kind of like the prince of New Genesis. And if I was to put money on it, I'd say that New Gods film will be an Orion film with other people involved. He'll be the sort of star of it. He's kind of like the sort of good-looking, young, suave New God, you know?
Like me.
So, yes,
Yeah, he's like you.
exactly like you. Nate, so you don't think it's due to the popularity of the Mr. Miracle comic book that the Mr. Miracle comic book that's out at the moment?
I don't know if it's because of that. That is getting a lot of good chatter, definitely. But I think it's probably, as I said, it's sci-fi. DC want to get a big sci-fi type out there. They want to do Green Lantern Corps, but that's got a bit of a stigma to it. And they're just trying some of their B and C list titles. And if I was really cynical, I'd say that, you know, Marvel have tried some of their lesser known people and had home runs with it. Guardians of the Galaxy and Doctor Strange and things like that. So DC are probably mining their vault of characters and thinking, right, what's sci-fi, what's a bit wacky and wild, and who are our characters that people haven't heard of that we can do anything with without any preconceptions. So what do you end up with? You end up with a New Gods.
They need to do something different. They're just following in the wake of Marvel at the moment.
Oh, that's controversial, JB.
I just feel it. That's
very controversial.
It's just the way it is.
So many of our listeners, all 12 of them, just rage quitted this podcast. You can't even believe it.
Sorry about that.
Ah, well, never mind. It's fine. It's just your opinion, and you're entitled to it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you are entitled to it, absolutely. What it seems to be is that there's a rush in DC, in Warner Brothers, to get things done, as opposed to a plan or a strategy. And also, it seems that there's no one steering, not especially steering, but no one coordinating it all. Whereas in Marvel, you get the sense from Disney that they know exactly where they want to go and what they want to do, and they've got options for characters they can pull out of the bag. And, you know, Kevin Feige is this figurehead man, but they've got you kind of understand that there's this boardroom of people that say, this fits in here, and this fits in here, and this fits in here. Whereas in DC, it kind of feels a bit scattergun, and it feels a little bit reactionary. And I will agree with you, James, a little bit on that one.
Oh my God. He actually agreed with us on something?
Maybe.
What's going on? So the other bit of news in there is that the script writer is a guy called, or a woman called, I don't know, I'm guessing, Cario Salem. Salem is perhaps more commonly known as an actor. Yeah, he's an accomplished writer who won an Emmy for the outstanding writing for miniseries or TV movie Don King, Only in America, in the late 90s, which I've seen and is pretty bad, actually. But it stars, who was in it? Ving Rhames starred it in as Don King, I believe. Yeah. Now, how nailed on do we think that Ava DuVernay is to direct this movie? Because we all know that DC...
I think she's involved. I think that's happening, yeah.
But we all know that DC go through movie directors like JB goes through...
Careful, Ben.
Oh, what's the thing? What's it give you wings? Red Bulls when he wants to get up in the morning.
Yes, exactly right.
Actually, James is a human can of Red Bull. He needs no more stimulation than to open his eyes, and that's it. He's Tasmanianing. Leaving a trail of dust and debris behind him. No, so I'm just thinking that if you look at all the directors that we've had lined up for the Flash movie, which still hasn't come, and some other bits and pieces, I just wonder, you know, if it's absolutely definitely going to happen, or is it going to happen because, you know, she's got a apparently good movie come out that hasn't done very well, because I don't think it's a good movie.
I think with Wonder Woman being really successful and Wonder Woman 2 being kicked off, and the good buzz around Shazam and Shazam changing it up a little bit with a bright, colourful, I think it's going to happen.
Okay.
I think it's going to be a good thing. I do. I genuinely think it's going to be a bit of a hit.
Okay, fine, brilliant. Next bit of news. Yeah. Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald, although it had the greatest name given on the Weekly Planet podcast this week, which was Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Gay Wizard Hitler. I'm sorry, it's just...
Get away with that?
Well, do you know what? He is linked to Hitler in the book. The Nazis rise in power at the same time as Grindelwald rises in power. Right, okay. They complement each other. And he is a gay wizard.
All right.
Because he is in love with Dumbledore, even though apparently they're dialing that back. Not any of that matters. There was another trailer.
The trailer came out.
Yeah.
And it looked pretty bloody good, I thought.
Yeah, it did. I think it addressed all the issues that I and other people had for the first film that it was like, oh, okay, it's kind of in the Wizarding World, but you don't get a sense of it too much. This one just opens with Hogwarts. You're like, all right, we're there again.
I like that. I didn't think that Eddie Redmayne was going to be too front and center after the first Fantastic Beasts movie. Have you actually seen that yet, JB?
Nope.
You got to watch it, mate. It's good fun.
What is it?
Yeah, it really is.
Okay.
Yeah, it's real good.
What it does is it takes everything you know about the Wizarding World.
Yeah.
Left it at the Wizarding World, not the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, just the Wizarding World.
Right.
And it expands upon it, and it gives you all this not too distant past sort of world building, and it's great.
Is it a bit
really,
more?
really
Is it?
good.
I mean, Harry Potter was sort of looking at based on books. Is this based on books? I don't know.
Okay.
No, but J.K. Rowling's writing the script.
Ah,
The title,
okay.
Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, is a book that exists in the Harry Potter Wizarding World.
Okay.
I should just call it the Wizarding World now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a book that they study at Hogwarts, and it was written by, whatever his face...
Newt Scamander.
Newt Scamander, that's the chap.
Brilliant.
He's on the Marauders map. You spot if you're eagle-eyed when they're looking at the Marauders map in Harry Potter 3, which is the
Prisoner of Azkaban.
Yes.
Prisoner of the Chamber of Secrets of Azkaban, or whatever it's called. Newt Scamander's walking around at Hogwarts.
All right,
So
okay.
he is known. He's sort of referenced a bit more in the books, obviously more than the film, but he is well known.
But is it working well though? I mean, is
Honestly-
J.K. Rowling getting even more money?
Yeah, well, she's writing the story. She's writing the movies.
She's smashing it then.
Producing it and writing it, yeah.
I mean, listen, if you really wanted to know, if you were to go back and listen to some of the podcasts that we did in 2016, where we were like, oh, I don't know about this, and then listen to our review, we were so hyped about it after we watched it that we gave it a really solid review because it is really good.
Okay.
It's got some stuff in there that expands upon Dumbledore's past. It's brilliant.
Do you need to see the Harry Potter films to be able to watch Fantastic Beasts?
No.
No,
So it's
no,
just
I
completely
just- no,
standalone?
You can watch it standalone.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
you can watch it
I think
standalone.
this trailer just looks great. It got me really hyped. It got really excited. I think Jude Law has really sort of grown into a charming older actor, even though he's playing young Dumbledore. I didn't like him when he was younger, but now he's sort of, what is he, 45, something like that now?
He's grown into his face a bit, hasn't he? James and I, by the way, appreciated how you just brought us back round to the topic there. That was very good.
I think it was great. You've got all the returning favourites. The heart and soul of the first film, Jacob, is back. Thank God, everyone loved him in it. And
Yeah.
so he's back, and we don't know how he's going to be back.
Jacob Kowalski. We won't go into it too much, JB, because you won't understand it and it
No.
will spoil it, the movie, but
The
he's
effects are
great.
And yeah, I'm fully hyped for it.
It looks like it's going to jump around the globe a little bit. So it looks like it's going to be at Hogwarts and possibly in Paris and maybe back in New York. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I want to watch this. I'm going to put him on the spot. When's this movie coming out, Nate?
November the 16th.
Ah, very good. So we'll
Watch
probably
the first one first.
better watch that one and then we'll review it at the end of the
Yeah,
year. Good
brilliant.
stuff. Right. Right.
Next trailer.
Next trailer. Next news story. Deadpool 2 had a trailer that came out today. And look at that. For once, we didn't miss it. Oh, my God. Right. Go ahead, James. What did you think of this trailer?
I liked it. It made me laugh. I was a bit whingy when I saw the first Deadpool 2 trailer. I was like, oh, it looks really samey. But I liked it. What I want to see more about is I want to know more about Cable. I don't really know what the film's about apart from a child. And they said we got to save him. I don't know what that is. I've seen the first one. I liked it. It's going to make me see this one. But I want some more story. I don't know what he's supposed to be saving. What's so great about this kid?
Nate, don't explain who Cable is to James again.
Oh, I know
he's
he's
done
some.
it on the podcast.
Yeah, he's a cyborg. Came back through time. All that sort of jazz.
That's
isn't
right.
It?
Yeah.
Johnny knows.
What I think you should do, James, is not look into Cable anymore at all.
Right.
At all.
Right.
And then just watch this movie. And then maybe compare Cable that we get in this movie and do a little bit of research on Cable, the comic book character, and see where you think the comparisons are.
Okay.
Where you think there aren't.
I've got homework. I've actually got some
I've just
homework.
given you homework. Well, what can I say? I actually really liked this trailer, Nate. I really liked it.
I'm going to predict it. Nate hated it.
Oh, of course, Nate.
Absolutely hated it.
If Nate didn't hate it, I will eat this microphone.
Nate.
I didn't hate it.
Oh, excuse me, I was going to eat this microphone.
Really,
I
Nate?
thought it was more of the same as expected, but I liked the inclusion of X-Force. I was a big fan of X-Force when they rebooted back in the early 2000s.
Oh, Nathan, don't do it to yourself, because you're gonna compare X-Force from the 2000s with X-Force from this movie, and you're going to be let down the same way you were with Guardians of the Galaxy and Annihilation Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. Look, I'm completely ready for this movie to disappoint me in every way possible, because the first movie was turned up to 11 and I didn't like it. I liked it, but it was too much for me. And this film is more of the same. But the trailer was funny, I agree. And it had a lot of... Do you know what it had? It had Ready Player One syndrome. It had, oh, look at that, I recognise that. Oh, look at that, I recognise that. Which gives a smile to your face because you recognise it. And then afterwards you walk away and you go, why was that there?
I really like the fact that it takes the Mickey out of its own self in terms of the Marvel universe. I like that. I like the little bit where you see Deadpool in Professor Xavier's wheelchair. I think that you could just say. I mean, if you found it, would you get in it? I know I would. I'll just have a little go.
You'd be in it for about 5 seconds, then you'd be up bouncing around again, James. But
I would. Yes, I would.
I like that. I don't know. I just like loads of it. I like the fact that you actually saw him get hit by a car and then twist his neck back around.
Yeah.
He cut someone's head off and then kicked it off. Don't get me wrong. I know this is stuff that Nate was probably like, oh, that's too much.
It's gruesome.
That's too much up to 11. But I loved it.
Yeah, I did. It was funny.
Liked it.
Yeah.
I can tell you who's going to like this film. My 16-year-old son is going to love this movie because he loved the first one, and he's the target demographic. Grumpy old men aren't really the target demographic.
No. Do we know any grumpy old men?
I like that Terry Crews is in it.
Yes, he's. Can I just say that Terry Crews is so funny in Brooklyn Nine-Nines? Do you guys watch Brooklyn Nine-Nines?
I'm aware of it. I've seen a bit here and there. It's fine.
Really?
Yeah.
It's fine.
Well, I haven't watched
hilarious.
it religiously.
Really, Nate?
I tell you what. Thinking back on it, sorry, I'm gonna pull it back round to the trailer. I'm sorry. Everyone.
Okay, sorry.
But thinking back on it, James, you are so spot on. There's hardly any Cable in this trailer, and we kind of were promised this would be almost a Cable and Deadpool duo film.
I actually think
not much of him in it, is there?
I think that was done on purpose, though, because I think that they knew there was going to be another Infinity War trailer around about now, and they knew that Thanos and all the stuff that Thanos does in Infinity War, obviously, which we'll get to a bit later in this podcast, was going to be in the forefront of everyone's mind. So they thought, do you know what? Let's not put him front and center on this one. Let's reveal some other bits and pieces.
But then why put the trailer out and why not wait?
Because I think they're probably contractually obliged to put another trailer out.
Really?
Probably. Yeah, there's probably something that says...
Deadpool doesn't fit into this in any way, into the Avengers or anything, does he?
No.
Is he
Fox property.
This
is
is Fox. This is not... Daredevil... Sorry, Daredevil? Yes, Daredevil. But also Deadpool is a Marvel comic book character. But in the movie universe,
he's in Fox.
You've got Marvel over here in one universe. And then... Marvel Comics had to sell off a load of their properties to stop them going bankrupt in the 90s.
So that's
80s.
why Spider-Man's with Sony.
That's why Spider-Man's with Sony, Deadpool, X-Men,
so
and
they're all in
Fantastic
different.
Four
They're basically
with
all
Fox.
in kind of in the same school, but got different teachers.
That's correct.
Yeah, I like that.
Now, with the idea in mind that I'm not that much of a fan of Josh Brolin, it's interesting that we'll be talking about 3 Josh Brolin properties today.
That is
very interesting.
That is pretty.
Deadpool 2, Josh Brolin's Cable. Next trailer, Sicario 2.
Is it Sicario or Cicero? Sicario. Okay, just want to make sure. Okay, Sicario.
So this is the sequel to Sicario, which came out in 2016, I think, I want to say.
I want to say 2015.
I want to say 2015, but I think we're both wrong. I think it's 2016.
Sicario was one of my big surprises when it came out. Really, really loved the first film. No surprise that it was directed by Denis Villeneuve, one of my favourite directors.
Denis Villeneuve.
Yeah, really, really great movie. Ben, you'll back me up on that one,
Yeah, absolutely. It did come out in 2015, by the way.
Yes!
We were right. Nate sucks. No, it is...
Didn't it get delayed and then come... I don't know.
No, doesn't matter. Nothing matters.
Just drop it.
Sicario 2, so this is a sequel to it. I don't think anyone realised there was going to be a sequel.
Oh, I knew a sequel was coming. This trailer didn't come out of the blue for me.
Sorry. What I meant was after the first one. Like, you watch the first one and you think, it's done, you know?
Yeah, it tells a complete story. That could be enough.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There has been
Then
some.
you get Benicio del Toro just being a total badass for 2.5 minutes, and Josh Brolin just upping his game. I'm like I said, I'm not a big fan of Josh Brolin in this. I'm sorry, guys. This trumps all other movies in 2018. This is the movie I want to see more than anything else.
Go ahead, James.
I'm a little bit gobsmacked, Nate. Does that just to confirm, is Avengers Infinity War coming out this year?
Yep, absolutely. I saw this trailer and I was like, this movie.
I agree. There has been.
My dials.
It is. I've not seen the first one, but it must have passed me by because I would have loved it if I'd seen it. So I am going to watch it, and I will say that this trailer looked phenomenal. It was just high intense, building. I was like, It was as good as the Avengers Infinity War trailer that we're obviously going to talk about later.
I don't know about that. I'll tell you what. One of the reasons why the trailer built up tension is because it used some of the same music from the first film.
Yeah,
and that.
I hadn't seen the first trailer though.
Not. But the music in the first film, the visuals, the music, the story, it's all designed to slowly but surely grab a piece of your skin and twist and keep twisting until you are so wound up tight that you have no idea what's going to happen next. I do think that this film is going to be good at doing that. I wonder if it will have the same impact as the first movie.
I know what you're saying. I think the trailer actually does give us most of the plot. There's probably not too many plot twists in there from this trailer.
Yeah.
I think you're right to some degree, because the first one, it keeps you on edge because you don't know where it's going to go or what's going to happen.
Yeah, and it's such a dangerous world that they live in as well, you know?
Yeah. And the dangers are who are my friends and who are my foes in the first film.
Yeah.
This one, it kind of the trailer's already laid it out for you. But I think the use of the sort of the military side of things, it kind of really presses my buttons, and I was watching it thinking, God, this looks great. Like, everything is shot in such a great way, and it's got a great feel about it. I'm really hyped for this film. It's really. If you haven't seen the trailer, I recommend you go out and watch it.
That's Cicero 2. I really enjoyed the trailer. I don't think it's the best trailer I've seen this week.
No.
But I am looking forward to the film. I do have to say, though, the way that Benicio del Toro's character shoots that guy lying on the ground.
Oh, crazy, right?
But I don't think it would work very well. I think he'd miss more than he hit.
I'm trying to do the action myself, and it's kind
he's
of like,
sort of holding the gun with one hand, pointing
which hand
it.
would you hold it with? Because if you could,
Well,
I'm left-handed.
I'm right-handed. Well, obviously, you're
So am I holding the gun in my left hand but using
a very
my right
creative
finger?
person. Well, yeah. So that's
Or am I holding it in my right hand?
I think he's holding it in his right hand, and then not having his right index trigger finger on it. He's got that away, and then he just uses his left index finger to blast. But if you look at the way the gun is moving all over the place when he's doing that,
Yeah,
I
too
think
much finger blasting.
If there's a you're a filthy person. But if he's got 15 bullets in his clip, I reckon he's only hit that guy about 4 times, and all the rest have all just bounced around him.
Ripped into shreds.
Whatever.
The pavement's in trouble. That's all I can
the
say.
paper's been finger blasted too much. Right, let's move on because that is a good trailer, and I'm looking forward to it. I'd say it's probably it's the third best trailer that I've watched of the 4 that we... Hang on, no, not 4, 5 that we're talking about on this podcast. Because I'd say that Fantastic Beasts is the 5th best.
Right.
Deadpool 2 is the 4th best.
Right.
Sicario 2 is the 3rd best.
Agreed.
The 2nd best trailer this week is Cobra Kai.
No way. Absolutely.
And that is the continuation of the Karate Kid saga, which is going to be a YouTube Red exclusive TV show.
No. Leave Karate Kid. It was done.
You
then brought out number 2, and they shouldn't have done it.
I just say, please let me just say, please.
Go on.
I absolutely love the Karate Kid movies. The first 3, I think they're brilliant. They're coming of age dramas and action and romance and friendship, and it's about building relationships through karate. And it's fantastic. And whilst Daniel LaRusso might be a little bit of a shit every now and then, he comes good in the end and he wins over our hearts. And then you see the trailer to Cobra Kai. He's the bad guy.
Can I look? You are one of the most intelligent people I know. I know this sounds a bit weird, and you know lots about the internet. Have you not seen bit?
Don't claim.
Have you seen the bit where it shows where LaRusso is actually the bad guy?
Yes, of
in the
course
Karate Kid.
Yeah, I've seen that.
So he's a complete knob.
It's the way the film's written, and you can listen. I can cut any trailer together you want and have Thanos as the good guy in Infinity War trailer.
No way, impossible.
Absolutely, I could do it. And
Prove
I could have Stark as the bad guy in any trailer you wanted. Given enough time, I could do it.
I'll give you all the time
with all
in the
the
world.
music cues and all that sort of thing. I could do it. But I'm telling you, I absolutely love this trailer. Do you know what I like about it? The nostalgia, because I love these characters growing up. They've both come back. There's a scene that wasn't in the Karate Kid. It was right at the start of the trailer where it flashes back to the All Valley tournament in 1984, and Daniel kicks Johnny in the face.
Yeah.
The scene where Johnny, it closes up on him and his head goes back and then he falls on the floor. Mm-hmm. I think they've recreated that 34 years later, because that wasn't in the first film.
Well,
I just, do you know what? I don't have YouTube Red. I don't know how I'm going to watch this, but I'm telling you, I'm going to watch this show because I love everything about the Karate Kid. I'm saying the first three movies. I'm not talking the Hilary Swank, the next Karate Kid. I'm not talking the Jaden Smith starring Kung Fu Kid with Jackie Chan as Mr. Han.
Right.
It doesn't have the same beating heart. But I love the Karate Kid movies. I want to see what happens in this. I want to see if Johnny Lawrence is now the good guy after 30 years.
But they've just recreated it. So in the trailer, it shows you that Johnny's sees someone getting picked on, and then he pulls his Karate Kid.
Yeah, but he doesn't do it to save some kid. He does it to save his car. But
was that what it was?
Yeah, because those kids. But
Nate, can you help me on this, please?
I think the kid that he's.
I don't care about it in any way.
Oh, really? I'm so disappointed in you both.
I love the Karate Kid, but I just think leave it there. The trailer didn't enthuse me with anything.
I loved Avengers, James. All right, I don't want him to leave it there. I want more.
Yeah,
I want
but you
more.
can't. Yeah, but that's because you.
I want Ultron. I want Civil War. I want Thanos. I want everything. I want Annihilation. Come on. All right, okay.
Can we talk about that in a minute?
Let's talk about that in a minute. That's brilliant. Right, that's the end of the news. That is the news. We are done for this week. Nerdscene.
So yeah, this is Nerdscene. This is where we talk about what we've seen and watched and read, and to play on the word scene. You get me, right?
I get you, and I was supposed to be doing that bit, but I'll let you off because you're poorly sick and you don't know any better.
This is all me. You guys not put anything in yet.
How dare you?
I didn't know I could.
Things in there because I've also read Descender and I've also watched Flint Town. So
well, I'm going to throw stuff at you then. I'm going to start.
Go on then.
Okay?
Yeah, go.
So I watched a new episode of Life and Death Row show I've talked about before, which is a BBC Three show. BBC Three is online only now. It's on iPlayer. And it's a show about inmates in death row in America. This one's called In Cold Blood. So I guess you would call this season 5. It was just a one-off, 1-hour special.
Okay.
And it's about an ex-US Marine who stabbed a guy to death in 2003, I want to say it was, something like that. It was terrific. And the show is great. If no one's seen Life and Death Row, I would recommend seeking out the first series, which was the series that really hits home the most. They have a lot of different cases and they go into them quite deep. They kind of found their rhythm and formula, so now these are kind of, it feels very similar, all of these series now, but they're still compelling, still really interesting. They sort of ask questions of you more than they give you answers about the morality of death row and the morality of the people that have done the things that they've done, whether they've done them or not, and so on. Really interesting show. I recommend everyone watch it.
So I got a question. Has it caused as much debate in your house as it did the last time you talked about Life and Death Row?
No, we were unanimous in our decision that this style was complete scumbag.
Oh.
Because previously, I think Nate and the Italian and the mini Italian all disagreed on something to a degree.
Okay.
And it sparked lively debate in that household.
Oh, you wouldn't want to be there
I
when
don't
that's
think
happening.
they were chatting very much over cornflakes the next morning.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, well done, Nate. Yeah, I'm probably never going to watch that, but I'm glad you liked it. 13 Reasons Why.
Thank you a lot. Yeah, we had a snow day in the UK. We had 2 snow days last weekend. So in the depths of northern Dartmoor, where I am, we couldn't get out of the house. So we mainlined 13 Reasons Why over 2 days.
Okay, so James, you said earlier on, I don't know what 13 Reasons Why is.
Yes.
I will explain to you. You don't have Netflix, that's why you don't know what it is. It's a Netflix original show. I think it's probably based on a book. Nate will know.
It is.
There you go, it is. And it's about a girl who, a high school teenage girl in America who tragically commits suicide.
Oh.
However, she records 13 audio cassette tapes explaining why she did it. And they're all sort of linked to specific people in her life.
Mm-hmm.
And they are, in a roundabout way, part of the reason why she did it. I'm just going to jump in here, Nate, because I know you watched it recently, but I found the show devastating, if I'm honest with you, because not only does it go into detail about how difficult a life teenagers have in this day and age, you also see her lie in a bath and slit her wrists, and it is
that was pretty horrific.
Absolutely one of the worst things I've seen. It's so bad. It really is.
Yeah. I agree.
But Nate, talk to me. What did you think of the show? You've mainlined it, so you didn't turn it off after 2 episodes. So you obviously were intrigued by it.
Well, okay, so it's written in a way that I would describe a bit like a Jack Reacher novel, in that it's written in a way that you want to know the next episode, whether it was good or not. You kind of want to get to it. I would say a lot of the characters in it weren't very likeable, including the girl who took her own life. I don't think that she's written very well. But then I don't think I'm the target audience. I think teenagers are the target audience, which is ironic because it's an 18 certificate, because you have scenes of, well, quite horrific scenes of, obviously, as you said, of her cutting her wrist, which is, when I think about it now, it does make me feel a bit queasy.
And other adult
horrible,
themes.
I mean, like rape scenes and things. It's really truly awful. It's a well-made show, and the main guy is very likeable, very watchable. Clay. I couldn't stop thinking he looked like Liam Hemsworth, like a really young Liam Hemsworth. I don't know if you noticed that. But,
Yeah, I did, yeah.
But yeah, I think it was interesting. I don't like the fact that they're making season 2 of it, which they're doing right now.
Yeah, there doesn't need to be a season 2.
How can you make a season 2?
I think
they've left some open purposely.
there's some stuff unresolved, and I think what will happen is it will probably skip on to possibly onto someone else who will probably do the same thing, and it will be 13 reasons why that other person did it, or 12 reasons why.
It's a mistake to do that.
I agree. I think
the value of the first one.
However, what I will say is that the internet buzz around this TV show when it came out was unlike anything I've ever seen.
Really?
I've seen a lot of buzz for stuff, for like trailers,
Yeah.
for good movies, but the buzz around this, we have a podcasting group of friends called the Geeks Talkers, and literally every single person on that group was talking about this and going, it's phenomenal, it's unbelievably good. So I watched it thinking, okay, well, I'll give it a go. I'm not a high schooler. I'm like almost 40 years old. What's the worst that can happen? But I did enjoy it. It was compelling viewing. Don't get me wrong. When I say enjoyed it, that's not the right word. Like Nate's right. It's a Jack Reacher novel. You want to know what happens next.
Yeah.
It's like watching an episode of 24. Did you ever watch 24?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
You watch 24. It finishes. You're like, Jesus Christ! I need to know what happens next. It's very much like that, but just without the damn it and guns and assassination attempts. Nate, just very quickly, the main guy in it, Clay, is played by a guy called Dylan Minnette, whatever you want to call him. Wouldn't he make a great Invincible?
Oh, he would. You're absolutely right. He would. He's a very, very watchable young man. He's a handsome young man. He does angst very well. Yeah, no, he'd be very good. Yeah, I like him a lot.
His picture on Wikipedia is from 2010. He doesn't look like that anymore.
No, is he?
That was 8 years ago. He was like 13. He's now like 21 years old. He'd be a great Invincible.
Nice.
He would.
Anyway, so that's 13 reasons why.
But it was, it was. I think it was not aimed at me.
Did the Italian cry?
No.
No, I don't think she would. No. Just checking. Okay, next, Flint Town.
Oh yeah, so I've been raging about Flint Town with you guys quite a bit and trying to get you to watch it. And I know Ben, you've given in and watched some of it. And James, I don't know if you're at all interested in it.
I am absolutely interested in it. I as my normal dilemma is what am I doing without Netflix in my life?
What I'll say is it's only 8 episodes long, so it's not a huge investment. Each episode's about 35, 40 minutes.
Right.
So it's not a huge amount of time.
I've definitely seen the trailer. It does look good.
Oh, okay, yeah. I think some of them vary. Yeah, but it's roughly 40, 45 minutes. I've watched 6 episodes now of the 8, and I'm going to watch the next 2 tomorrow night.
Nice.
I'm going to line it all up. I got the house to myself. It's happening. Don't get me wrong. This is a documentary. It's a documentary about cops in Flint, Michigan.
Yep.
That basically was like a feeder town to Detroit, isn't it, Nate?
Yeah.
So basically, think of people who live in Crediton but work in Exeter.
Nice.
Flint, Michigan is people who lived in Flint but they worked in basically MG Motors, basically in Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
All of that's gone the way of the dodo. They've all lost their jobs. Crime is rampant. Poverty is rampant. They've all been poisoned by, there was some stuff that happened to their water supply and all their water got poisoned. It's a town on the edge. It's a town completely and utterly on the edge.
They sound like they're having a terrible time.
And they've got 100,000 people living in this town. So maybe it's a bit bigger than Crediton.
Just slightly.
A little bit bigger than Crediton. People going, what the fuck is Crediton? What's going on here? Google it, isn't it that big? But anyway, just think of, they've got 100,000 people in this town. And they call it a town of 100,000 people. And they've got 99 cops or 95 cops?
98, I think.
98 police in a town of 100,000. I think they are the lowest stocked police force to population ratio
Really?
in the whole United States.
Well, see, what I found interesting about it, and what I think it does, is it's an emotional story, and it's about politics and emotions. It's not necessarily about the actual policing.
Yeah.
Like, you go out with them in the car. It's mostly about those interviews in the car. It's not about, and then I got out of the house and I spoke to them and this was the crime and I, arrested them. You see some of that, but mostly it's about how people are dealing with it. And that's why I like it, I think. There's no sort of plot or narrative. There's sometimes documentaries that go around a story that has to happen. That's not the case in this. It's just 8 episodes. It's basically a year in the life of the police in one of the worst towns in the modern, industrial world. And yeah, it's terrifying. Some of it. Some of it's really sad. And some of it's really hard to watch. And the police chief is just an absolute hero. Yeah.
Is it based though? Flint Town without the water poisoning, would it have been? That was just another nail in the coffin for that town. It was already struggling anyway. So, like, someone's obviously thought, I know, there's a town struggling. I'm going to make a documentary about this and follow people around.
Oh yeah, and also there's at the time when they were filming this, they filmed it from I want to say the end of 2015 through 2016.
Mm-hmm.
And it was around the time when there was an awful lot of bad things happening in the United States. So the police were really under fire. There'd been some
Black Lives Matter stuff.
Yeah, there'd been shootings.
Trump. It was Trump becoming the president at the end of the year in November.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And that's coming up. I know that's coming up because I've seen it on Netflix.
Cool.
As you sort of look down, Trump's face is on it, and you're like, "What the frickin' hell is this guy doing here?" But it's because it's a US town / city going for a really hard time at the time when Trump is rising to power. It's worth a watch. It really is, and you won't believe some of the stuff that happens. You really won't.
I'm tapping in.
Good stuff. You need to get Netflix, mate.
Yes.
Next, Nate, you've been watching Star Wars Rebels Season 3.
Yeah, I'll skip this quickly because I'm a year out of date on this. Season 4's finishing, I don't know, next week or something. Yeah, I watched Season 3, pretty much all of it. I've been, as you said at the top of the show, I've been quarantined because I'm dying of death. But, I've mainlined Season 3 of Rebels, and I have absolutely loved it. It's fantastic. It is everything you want from Star Wars. It makes the film Rogue One an embarrassment, in my opinion, because it's that period of time.
Is it a cartoon?
It's not a cartoon. It's
that's the problem with it. Is that you're right, James. You've hit the nail on the head. People aren't interested in watching it because they think it's a kids show.
But it's not. It's much more to
Star
it.
Wars where people die and lightsaber battles and people have limbs chopped off.
Ooh.
And real stakes. This show does it. It does all of those things. It's really
Adult cartoon.
I think I don't think. I know I'm going to enjoy it. I just know that I need to invest time in it. And at the moment, I don't have that time. But it's always going to be there. I can go back to it anytime I want. What I'll do is I'll start watching it in like a year's time. And I'll be raging about how bloody great it is. And you'll be like, well, yeah, but we watched it like when it came out. So what are you talking about? Shut up, you idiot.
Yeah, and our friend Dave really loves it. I know he watched it with his kids, doesn't he?
Yeah, he watched it with his son. Yeah.
Yeah, and we have a chat down here and there. There are some really, really stunning scenes in it. Things that you would think, how can a cartoon be this good? And I know what you're saying, James. Like, it's still a cartoon, but it's not. The ending of season 3, there's a big space battle, and it really puts other Star Wars properties to shame. It really does. It's really well done. You feel the conflict. You feel that the effects are brilliant. It's not Scooby-Doo-esque. It's not like, they run out this door and they come out. It's properly realistic in terms of Star Wars. It's really good. Really enjoying.
And it's based in the years leading up to the first Star Wars movie, A New Hope.
Right.
So what is it now? About 5 years before that starts? Ish?
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's called Rebels because the Empire has become the Empire at the beginning, right at the beginning. So there are stormtroopers, but there is no rebellion.
Okay.
And it is the 4 years in which the rebellion forms across the galaxy and comes together. There are tiny little bands of people who aren't happy, and it's about them coming together and building the rebellion.
Very good. Moving on, I finally convinced you to read Volume 1 of Descender. Now, before you go on, I just want to say, tread carefully here, because a friend of the show, fan of ours, potential partner of ours, Chubasha, loves Descender. She convinced me to read it. And I was like, artwork. It's very arty, not sure. I'll get to it. I have mainlined...
It's Dustin Newton, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I've mainlined 3 volumes of this comic book. I've got the 4th. I'm going to buy the 5th. And the 6th is coming out, I think, in September.
Wow.
And we worried that the comic was going to end there, but it's not. It's carrying on. Anyway, Nate, you read Volume 1, and your opinion was...
Yeah, it was good.
Oh, brilliant. Now, bearing in mind that Nate's shtick at the moment is sci-fi, it's in the zeitgeist. This is one of the most sci-fi comics I've ever read, and it has a huge beating heart as well. And there, I think, lies the problem. It's very sci-fi, so Nate will like it, but I wonder if he doesn't have that engagement to the beating heart of the story. But I don't know.
That was it. No, you're right. It has got that. It's it plays on that quite heavily. The main character is a little boy robot, so obviously it's going to try and play on that quite a lot. I might be, I love this word this week, clearly, cynical and say that you both have young boys in your lives, so maybe that's, you see the character through their eyes.
Yeah, just to chop in here, I have twin sons who are 5 years old. And Bash has a young kid as well. I forget how old he is, maybe 4 or 5. That's what Nate means when he says that we have young boys in our lives. Because James was looking a little bit confused.
I've got 2 girls.
Yeah.
So, no, it was good. It was good. It was interesting. For me, I probably read too much sci-fi and seen too much sci-fi because it did a lot of sci-fi things that sci-fi does.
Yeah.
It's not a problem. It's good stuff. It's just, I was like, then they're going to do the fight thing, and okay, yeah, that's the thing. It was just, I would happily read more, but I'm not in a rush to.
That's fine. I've got volumes I can lend you as and when you're ready. What I'll say is that the story from volume 2 jumps into places you wouldn't expect. Characters are linked in ways you don't expect them to be linked in. It is absolutely fantastic, and I cannot wait to read more. I want to be at home right now, either watching Flint Town or reading this comic book.
How many pages is a comic book?
24-ish.
Is that it?
And this volume is a collection of 5 or 6 comic books.
6, I think it's 6.
So say around 80-odd pages, something like
Not too
that.
bad, is it?
90 pages, something, yeah.
Find some time for that.
Maybe you could. Maybe you like it. Maybe you won't. Not comics aren't for everyone. Some people absolutely love them. Some people prefer books. I prefer something I can just look at every now and then. But
Yeah.
hey, there you go. All right, Nate. Let's move on because this has taken an awful long time this week, and it's all your fault. I feel like this is the most you've talked to anyone this week, right?
Yeah, that's true, actually. Yeah, I've got a lot to say because I haven't spoken to anyone.
Yeah. Okay.
I did have a full-on row with someone in Waitrose today.
Oh.
I buy paracetamol, and they didn't let me buy 2 packets of ibuprofen and paracetamol at the same time. And they said it was the law, and I said I wasn't very happy about that. And I then went to Lloyd's Pharmacy and checked what the law was because I was going to get more paracetamol, and they told me it was okay. It was just Waitrose guidelines, so I got the law on my phone and went back to Waitrose and showed it to the manager and had a go at him and told him that they shouldn't tell me that's the law. So I did have a bit of a rant today.
Okay. Was that a bit like Judge Dredd? I'm the law.
My God, what are you like? Like I said,
telling you the law, and it's not.
History's greatest monster. There you go.
Oh my goodness.
Now, human Tasmanian devil Jimmy Bingers sent us something on our little WhatsApp group that we've got, and it was called an MCU supercut. Now, I couldn't watch it at the time because it was like late last night. I think you sent it. Didn't you?
Yeah.
I was like, it's 20 minutes. I can't do it now. I'm just going to bed. I'm tired. I'll watch it tomorrow. So I watched it on my lunch break today, and it is. Do you know what, James? You describe what it is because you described it perfectly earlier on. It was the best thing you've ever done. Go on.
Oh no, I can't. I don't think I can remember what
You
I
can
said.
do it.
But what I found was that it was absolutely epic in building up to and slicing and dicing all the films in the MCU, building up to Infinity War. If you hadn't seen any of the films, you could watch 20 minutes of that and you know exactly where you were. And it was brilliant.
Agreed.
It was so good, so good.
Yeah, I was sitting there at home after I watched it today as well, and I was sitting there thinking to myself, I need to watch these movies again. And that's what it made me do. That's what it made me go like, I need to see like Doctor Strange again. I need to see Guardians of the Galaxy again. I need to see Captain America: Civil War again. You know.
But what I liked about it, and because I've obviously watched the films quite recently, because I've been playing catch up, that it's got all the poignant points or the elements in the films, and it's been sewn together with such precision that I would punch a person who said that is not an excellent trailer.
Oh, I got chills at the end of it. Don't get me wrong, I was like, 20 minutes, bloody hell, this is going to be long. It didn't feel like it was 20 minutes.
No.
It felt like it was 3 minutes.
Yep.
The last, probably I want to say 4 minutes, every single thing that was happening on the screen with the voiceover that was from a different movie, but then looking at a different movie again, with the music, chills. I got chills. It finished and I was like, holy crap. Yeah. How long is it until Infinity War? 35 days or whatever it is for the UK? I was died. Anyone who wonders what we're talking about, just search for MCU Supercut or on our Nerdschatting timeline on Twitter or on Facebook. If you look for the 22nd of March, I tweeted it out today. I also gave credit to the guy who edited it together as well, who's also liked our tweet. Yes, it's 20 minutes long, but it's almost perfect to watch and then go into see Infinity War, I'd say.
Absolutely.
It's probably, think of a condensed MCU rewatch.
Yeah.
All 18, 19, how many films is it? 18 films now? 18 films, whatever it is. before Infinity War. If Jack and the Geeks Talk podcast friends of ours are doing a rewatch, and they're up to Civil War. They've just done.
They're doing
Or they're
all
doing,
of the movies.
They're watching all the movies from Iron Man all the way up to Black Panther.
High five those guys.
Absolutely, they're doing amazing. They just put a call out today for people's thoughts on Civil War. So I said, I thought it was great. But you could almost watch this 20-minute clip and not have to do any of that because it's all there for you.
Yeah.
Absolutely everything. All the characters, all the hopes, the fears, the dreams that they've got, all the bad guys they've come up against, all the pressures that they're under. It's brilliant, man. It's absolutely brilliant. I loved it. You did brilliant there, mate. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
JB.
Thank you.
Well done. And that leads us very nicely onto tonight's topic. So, today's topic is us discussing the latest Avengers Infinity War trailer that came out a couple of days ago now. But we both agree we all agree was absolutely freaking epic. James, what did you think of this trailer when you watched it? First of all, let's not go into the nitty gritty of it. Let's just say, what did you think of the trailer after it finished?
I had to watch it again.
You had to watch it again straight away.
Absolutely.
Because you were so enamored with what you saw.
It was breathtaking. It was actually breathtaking. That's a
great word.
The only other time I felt like it was watching Westworld, where I was like I was just moving and I found myself on the edge of the seat, watching the telly, and I was like, "This is phenomenal!" And like, anything could have happened behind me when I was watching this trailer,
and you wouldn't have cared.
And I wouldn't have cared.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have known about it. I just wouldn't have known about it, or I'd have just got really angry and told people to calm down because I'm watching this trailer for the second time. It was brilliant.
It was brilliant.
It was just setting the story so well. It was bringing in the characters, the Guardians of the Galaxy, and I don't know, best trailer and the best film that I'm looking forward to for 2018.
What, more than Cicero 2?
Yeah, definitely more than Cicero.
Nate, what did you think of the old Avengers in Infinity Wars trailer 2? Thanos kills everyone.
Well, we had a coffee when it came out, just after it came out. We talked about it, didn't we, the three of us? And the thing that I said to you guys then, and I hold by it now, stand by it now, is that I am so incredibly impressed with the quality of filmmaking that's happened over the last few years, and this the sort of culmination of it. Like, there was a time when I genuinely would say, I hate CGI, because it just would always make me think. It would always take me out of the moment. We're going to talk maybe next week about the Uncanny Valley and the ability to be able to watch false faces. But the point I'm trying to get to is that every single frame of this trailer just looks absolutely perfect. There's nothing in it that you question. You don't question the reality of any of it. You look at it and you go, well, that's obviously real, and they filmed it. They just took a camera into that, exploding skyline, or they just took a camera into that spaceship, or they just took a camera into that room where Doctor Strange is being stabbed in the face with magic glass. You just believe every single frame of it, and I think that's the thing that I took away from it mostly. It was just the sort of awe that it was in front of me and looked real,
Yes, absolutely. Sorry, I'm just reading a bit of breaking news, actually, and it's sort of relevant to what we're talking about. I'll get to it in a minute. Yeah, always right. I liked that the trailer built very nicely on what we'd seen with the previous teaser trailer.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know, James, did you ever watch the Comic-Con sort of leaked footage of the Infinity War trailer they got at San Diego Comic-Con last year?
No, I didn't.
I've seen it. It's difficult to watch. It's sort of sideways on, out of some guy's pocket. It's fine, but I think it's fine because of the quality of what I've seen. The trailers that we've had for this, I think, are absolutely the actual official release trailers to the public. Some of the best trailers I've ever seen. This trailer in particular, I immediately had to go and rewatch it, and then rewatch it again. And I think I've probably watched it about 20 times. I absolutely adored it.
Yeah.
I have grave concerns that not very many people are going to survive this movie, like even less than we think, than we've speculated about in the past. This is how you do a trailer and get people excited for it. But then Marvel pretty much always do that. But I think particularly with the Avengers trailers, they are just knocking them out of the park. They are absolutely fantastic. Nate, should we go through some details in this little clip that you've got? We've got some GIFs on the page here. Should we go down through these as sort of like the?
Yeah. There's a couple of things I'd like to do just before we get into it, but I agree we should do that.
Sure. Okay. Go ahead.
With the trailer, two very important things happened to me in the trailer. Very important, earth-shattering, important, like world famine, obviously. Important. The teaser that came out was, the hairs on the back of him standing up, and it looked great, and I think pretty much everyone agreed it was great. But it was very serious. And in this trailer, we had two really funny and heartwarming type scenes. You get Star-Lord quitting with Iron Man. And
That's funny.
You get, Peter Parker being his sort of bumbling, awkward self with Doctor Strange. And for me, those scenes were like, remember, this is a Marvel film. It's going to be okay. It's not going to be all doom and gloom. You're going to have some fun along the way. And I was kind of really glad they put those in there.
Yeah, I agree. Because I think it's going to need to be... it's going to need to have some light moments here and there, because I think it's going to have an awful lot of not light moments. So yeah, to keep that, it's keeping in touch with its core, what the Marvel movies have always been since 2008, and that is that serious things happen, bad things happen, but these guys are heroes because they can, they can see some of the lighter aspects of the lives that they live. Yeah, that's what I think anyway. So let's go down through these GIFs, shall we? Should we go down through these GIFs?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've gone to comicbookmovie.com and they've got a whole list of GIFs from the trailer. The top one, underneath the picture of Captain America grabbing Thanos' Infinity Gauntlet, which we'll talk about, I think, in a little while.
Definitely.
You've got, which I think is about 2/3 of the way through the trailer, is Thanos jumping out of the... jumping through the sky, sort of aiming a punch at someone. Let's face it, whoever's on the other end, the receiving end of this punch, is not going to be very happy.
But he's not using his gauntlet hand.
He's not using his gauntlet hand.
So that would not be a Mortal Kombat finishing move, potentially.
No, but don't forget, Thanos can go toe-to-toe with the Hulk, so this is going to hurt, basically.
Yeah. It is gonna, yeah. They're not gonna be getting up in 10 seconds.
No, this is possibly finishing someone completely. And from the looks of the sort of the sky in the background, the debris floating along in the sky, this is possibly on Titan. Do we think, Nate?
Yeah, it could be.
So Titan is Thanos' homeworld.
Yep.
Or it could be the one where Gamora is. I think he might come and completely destroy Gamora as well.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it could be Gamora's homeworld. Yeah, who knows? The second GIF we've got here is Spider-Man swinging into action. So this is the second GIF is sort of a little bit sort of towards the end of the trailer, isn't it? And it's it's basically just giving you a glimpse of how far Peter, I think, has come along with his web swinging, because in Spider-Man Homecoming, you don't see him do an awful lot of web swinging, because he's never really in an environment where he can do it. No. You see him crawling up walls, you see him doing, flips and all that sort of thing. But this looks better than anything I've seen in any Spider-Man movie so far.
Well, I liked in the trailer the fact that right at the start, when he sat on the bus and his hairs went on edge.
That was in the first movie, first trailer,
yeah. It was like his spider senses are coming. He's not using that battle suit to tell him how to do everything, and he's a bit clumsy. When he comes out of the bus and swoops down and he hits the water. You wouldn't want to get your feet wet, would you?
No, not really. No, that was a mistake, wasn't it? Yeah. No, it's very good, very good. So then you've got Thor powering up, which is interesting.
So there's talk that this is him building his new weapon, because he said Mjolnir destroyed in Ragnarok. What is it? And there's been some toy picture leaks of this new weapon, and it's like an axe and a hammer. It looks quite a lot like the Ultimate Thor hammer.
Yes. In the Ultimate Comics, Thor didn't have like the rectangular sort of shaped hammer. He had.
It was more like a battle axe.
it was more like a battle axe. Very much like what he gets in this. Now, Stormbreaker.
The rumor is the handle is going to be part Groot.
Yeah, I've seen that rumor as well. That's
Weird.
interesting and weird at the same time. I don't know if I like it. At the same time, we shall see.
Also, do you know that it's been officially confirmed by James Gunn, the director and writer of Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2, that the Groot in the second film and in this is not the same Groot from the first film? That Groot does actually kill himself, and this is what you would basically consider Groot's son?
Yeah, well, it doesn't kill himself. God, you've definitely been watching 13 Reasons Why. It doesn't kill himself. He sacrifices himself to save his team colleagues, team members, whatever you want to call it.
Tomato, I say tomato.
That's right. I do say potato. You do say...
He didn't kill himself.
Potato.
He was protecting.
But anyway, so what Rocket did was grabbed a twig of Groot,
Yeah.
who died,
Yeah.
planted that twig, and that is Groot's offspring.
Yeah.
So basically, it's almost like this race of aliens, which Groot is obviously, reproduces itself by cutting a bit of itself off, planting it, and that is
Mini Groot.
Yeah, that is baby Groot basically. So it is still Groot, but it's not Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. It's Groot offspring.
Yeah.
Of Groot.
Still voiced by Vin
Groot
Diesel.
Jr. Still voiced by Vin Diesel, yeah. So apparently in the trailers, you know, where you see Thor grabbing those two things, that is apparently where he's forging his new hammer as well.
Was he?
Apparently.
It's possible that Peter Dinklage's unnamed role, I mean, he might be playing one of the...
is it the Dwarf King or something?
Dwarf King type thing. Is it Niflheim?
Yeah.
Where they forged, where Mjolnir was forged originally.
Niflheim is it's in the realm of the nine. Nine realms, basically.
I was reading somewhere that he would look like he could be trying to close a gate or something.
Yeah, I thought that as well.
Yeah, I think that's clever editing in the trailer. It's because where Thor is stood, it looks a little bit like that sort of portal ship that Peter goes on.
Yeah.
At the start of the trailers, but anyway, yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do there. Now, this next GIF has a little headline caption that says "The Death of Captain America?" ? So this is where Thanos is looking like he's going to grab Cap, not punch him, just grab him with his left hand, which has got the Infinity Gauntlet on, and at least two stones in the Infinity Gauntlet. However, at this point, there could be more in there, and Marvel have just cut them out, so they don't want you to see there are actually more in there. They've done that with some stuff in the past.
Have they?
Yeah, well, if you think about the Civil War trailer, when the two sides are running at each other, Spider-Man's in that lineup. You don't see him in the trailer.
In Age of Ultron, there's a sort of money shot where the camera pans around them when they're inside the sort of circular building.
Oh, yeah,
and in the trailer, there were less heroes in it than there were in the end, because they didn't want to reveal that Scarlet Witch is on the good guy's side, and they didn't want to reveal that Vision had been born.
Yeah.
You guys are so eagle-eyed, it's untrue.
Well, we are nerds chatting. Anyway, so this is where Thanos is reaching down to grab Cap, and Cap catches his hand, and for whatever reason, he's able to keep him off for a little bit. Now, we talked about this, didn't we, last week when we had a coffee, and we sort of came to the conclusion that maybe this has done a bit of clever editing, and this actually doesn't last anywhere near as long as it sort of looks like it does in the trailer. Nate, what do you think here?
Yeah, I think it'll be quick, and I think it'll be over very quickly. I think it's an impressive shot, and I think it's no surprise to me that the Russo brothers, who directed Winter Soldier and Civil War, are big Captain America fans and want to make Captain America the star of this movie. And so he gets the sort of big money shot, as it were, where he gets to catch the big bad guy, Ultimate Power's hand. That doesn't surprise me in any way. It's just kind of a bit for us, because Cap is our way into all of this, isn't it? He's the everyman. He's the guy that's he's got superpowers, but they're just on the edge of superpowers, aren't they? He's at the peak human condition. So
how can he grab Thanos' hand and keep it off of him when Thanos is a superpowered alien being who's wearing a gauntlet with stones on it that can basically give him power over everything? Well, how can he grab that hand?
Something's not right there.
there's
maybe. You know, what about this? Okay, the plan is to get the gauntlet off his hand, right? So someone is out of shot. Someone has pushed Thanos or hit Thanos or knocked Thanos so that he falls to one side, and Cap has grabbed the gauntlet in the attempt to pull the gauntlet off of his hand. And that's what's happening, as opposed to holding it back. And then Thanos is turning and looking and going, oh, you've got my hand. And then he's just going to flick him away. Because the way that he's leaning into it is very weird.
Yeah, okay, I'll go with that. That's quite an interesting theory you've got there. Yeah, well done, Nathan. You're not just a pretty face, are you?
He isn't.
Now, a little bit of breaking news on this podcast. Now, I'm going to ask you if I'm going to put in a spoiler warning here, but I'm not going to talk about it unless you guys want me to, because it is to do with Cap, and it's to do with the actor Chris Evans, who plays Cap, has confirmed something for after the next Avengers movie, Avengers 4, whatever it's going to be called. Do you want me to just quickly spin this bit out?
Yeah, go on.
Do it.
Chris Evans, Captain America himself, Steve Rogers, has confirmed that Avengers 4 will mark the end of his time in the MCU, and he will no longer be Cap after Avengers 4.
Yeah, he says that now. That's I'm sorry, that's, what do you call that? That's,
Schadenfreude. No, that's the wrong one.
That's what Nate did just a minute ago, didn't he? Draws in that line in the sand and then just steps over it. So,
Okay,
if Nate can do it,
Yeah,
Cap America can do it.
Absolutely. Okay, fine. We'll move on then from that. Then. End of spoilers. New Avengers Assemble. So this is the GIF where you've got Cap and Black Widow jump. Sorry.
Black Widow, sorry, yeah, Scarlett Johansson. Sorry.
Yeah, Scarlett Johansson, Black Widow, Natasha Romanoff, whatever you want to call her.
Yep.
Getting off a Quinjet with who's she got here? She's got Rhodes. She's got Falcon, I think, as well in the background.
And Hulk.
And Hulk and Scarlet Witch and the Vision, and they're going to Wakanda, shaking hands with T'Challa, and obviously T'Challa's got his fantastic Kingsguard, whose name I always forget.
Is that Michonne?
Michonne and her friends, but they've got an actual name, and I always forget it, and it's so disrespectful of us to keep on forgetting this. I'm disappointed in myself. Doesn't matter.
It's cool. There's a team of Avengers.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is obviously taking place in the movie just a little bit before basically the big fight, the big battle takes place on the plains of Wakanda. Yeah.
Do you think there's going to be battles going off everywhere? So a little bit in like Star Wars, Return of the Jedi, there's going to be people are going to be taking on the main man, Thanos. They're going to try and sort something out. Then you've got, something's happening in Wakanda, something's happening on a ship. Yeah, is that what, are we going with that?
I think
absolutely, yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think this movie is going to have several set pieces, and I think the directors have come out and said that this Infinity War will have several action beats, very much like the airplane scene from Civil War. Mm-hmm. It'll have like 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah.
So I think that more heroes are actually going to be on Wakanda than we've seen. For example, Iron Man. For example, Doctor Strange, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
We just haven't had them revealed to us yet for whatever reason. I think that these guys are going to be like the first wave of attack. They're going to be up against it, and then you might get some more heroes.
Send in the foot soldiers.
Absolutely, you get some more people turning up. Don't get me wrong, I might be wrong there. They might have already been killed by Thanos at this point, but you never know. Anyway, skipping down, next we've got Thanos meeting Gamora. So
this is confirmed. We had a little debate about the hand, because the size of the fingers on Thanos' hands didn't seem to line up like earlier on, but I think this is pretty much confirmed. This is young Gamora.
Absolutely.
And Gamora's planet. This is a flashback. Apparently the film's going to take a lot of time to explain Thanos' story and his motivations for killing half the universe.
Interesting. I want to know more. Do you think we'll see young Nebula as well, or do you think it will just get young Gamora?
No, I think we'll see young Nebula, definitely.
Interesting. So Nebula isn't... Yeah,
sisters.
Yeah, sisters in air quotes.
Sisters who like to battle.
Yes, and they're adopted sisters, basically.
Yes.
But yeah, okay. That's quite impressive. You can see in the scene when Thanos turns around with young Gamora and they walk away, some of the guards who are keeping back Gamora's people, who, again, I always forget what they are, but you shared that Reddit post of
Yeah.
She's like the last surviving member of her race of people because Thanos killed the rest of them.
Yep.
Some of the guys who are keeping those people back are the generic alien bad guys from the first Avengers movie. Again, the Chitauri, that's it. I always forgot what they were called. Nate saved us. Again, not just a pretty face, is he? So the Thanos has used the Chitauri to his own means in the past. Interesting. Next, we've got Ebony Maw, real creepy looking dude, battling, by the looks of it. Again, this could be clever editing, but it looks like he's battling Doctor Strange here. So I
think he's pretty much won over with Doctor Strange.
Yeah, so this is pretty much a scene from I believe it's the Infinity comic that came out a couple of years back, Nate, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Where Ebony Maw, I don't want to say tortures, but I might be right in saying
Mind games.
That. No. He uses his abilities to get information out of Doctor Strange about the location of. I think in the comic they call it one of the gems, because in the comics they're called Infinity Gems, not Infinity Stones.
Right.
I think really, I haven't read this comic book. I think Nicola from We Have a Hulk pod has, and I think Danny B from the Nerdified podcast has.
Certainly.
I implore them to let us know if we're right, if this scene is a recreation of the scene, which I think again is from Infinity, from a couple of years back. But I think it's definitely a fan service moment. This scene where Ebony Maw goes up against Doctor Strange.
Yeah, it's pretty creepy as well.
It is pretty creepy, where he's doing this little shush, and then, Doctor Strange he looks like he's in absolute agony.
He's not in a good place.
He's not in a good place at all. No, I loved it. Now, next gif we have here is you get the power of the Mad Titan himself, the power of Thanos. So in the first teaser trailer we got, whenever it was, end of last year, you saw Loki grabbing the Tesseract and handing it or holding it up.
Yep.
Now in this trailer we get Thanos breaking the Tesseract basically because he wants the Infinity Stone that he knows is inside it.
Yep.
Which I think, Nate, correct me if I'm wrong, is it the Space Stone?
Yes.
We think.
That's confirmed. Nate has confirmed that officially. Yeah. So also the Tesseract was the thing that was used by Red Skull in World War II in Captain America, the first Avenger. It was used in Avengers. It opens a portal in the space where all the Chitauri and the space whaley things came through. So this is going to be an important part of, obviously, the Infinity Gauntlet that Thanos is going to be wielding. However, notice that in this scene, he breaks the Tesseract with his left hand, which is his Infinity Gauntlet hand, and he's not wearing the Infinity Gauntlet at this point. So I wonder if this scene will lead to him getting the first stone, putting on the Infinity Gauntlet, and the first stone going into the Infinity Gauntlet.
Oh, it's a nice touch.
Thank you. I might be wrong. I could be completely wrong, but you never know. What do you reckon, Nate?
Either that or it's just the frame's been flipped and it's the opposite side.
He can't even let me have that, can he? Can't even let me have that.
Just give it to him.
Son of a bitch. Okay.
We should always have different ideas. It shouldn't just need to be going, Ben, you're right.
but maybe just once.
Even though I am right. Anyway, next. Again, I'm skipping all over the place with all these scenes, but it's just how it's been presented out. I'll link this comic book movie.com thing in the episode description. But you've got Iron Man's new armor. So this looks like it's his bleeding edge sort of armor, doesn't it, Nate? And this looks to be the scene where Peter's on that round spaceship portal gate, whatever the hell you want to call it.
Yep.
Looks like the Stargate.
Yes.
And it's going up into it's going up into space. And I said last week when we had a coffee, why does Iron Man, he can fly at supersonic speeds, why does he have to have this new booster jet on the bottom of his suit?
Yeah.
And you both made a very good point. He's never chased a spaceship before, has he?
He hasn't.
No, he hasn't.
He's gone for a fighter plane, but he has never gone out to space. Chased a spaceship.
Yeah.
That is cool.
So I think someone's created a meme or a GIF, or I can't even remember what it is. But basically, it's Tony saying to Friday, engage booster rocket and deploy the Iron Spider suit as well. Because at this point, you've seen in the trailer, maybe this trailer or the previous trailer, that Peter is up very high. Like you can see almost space. You can see the curvature of the Earth because the Earth is round, not flat. It's a fact, people. Get over it. So it looks like Tony's going up there to save him. And wouldn't it be fun if he deployed the Iron Spider suit at this point? because it enables him to breathe in outer space.
Nice.
I like it.
Could be wrong. Could be total bullshit, but you never know.
I never know. I think it's a good one.
Thank you. We'll see. War in Wakanda. So this is a point where you get all the guys. This is a point where you get like beats in the trailer. We go boom, 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 and like T'Challa gets his claws out. Bucky cocks his gun. That's cocks his gun. By the way, James, nothing else.
Nigger.
And Cap gets his new weird shield out, which looks like the shield that he had in Secret Empire a little bit, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, this is basically telling us there's going to be a frigging great big battle on Wakanda, which we knew anyway.
You guys know it because it's more Black Panther stuff.
Well, yes, it is. Yeah,
it is, and it will be an epic. Probably the best battle in the film.
Yeah, absolutely, because Black Panther is one of the greatest Marvel movies that we've seen. So
absolutely,
you're probably right, then. Probably be the best action scene in the film.
I think
you were right, but not me. Okay, next we get a gif of it's called Meet the Black Order. So the Black Order are Thanos'
cronies, aren't they?
Cronies. That is the best word for them. There is his generals, the guys who lead his armies and do his bidding and whatnot. So who do we have? Loki stood with them. We have Proxima Midnight. And we have others. We have what's he called? Thingy Moore, Ebony Moore. What's the other one called, Nate? Or the other two? I've forgotten their name.
No idea.
If only there was some way to look this up. Oh, it's so annoying that we don't have the technology in this day and age.
One of them, but two of them are together, aren't they?
So it would be members of the Black Order, of course, Thanos, Black Dwarf, Corvus Glaive, Ebony Moore, Proxima Midnight, and Supergiant. That might be wrong. Supergiant might have a different name. No, I'm going to go with Supergiant. There you go. That's who they are. We don't know enough about people who are voicing these characters, do we?
No.
I wonder if there will be any surprises in there.
I think there might be one or two.
We'll see. Okay. Hulkbuster.
It's Bruce Banner.
Do you
Guaranteed.
See the scene that we get where the Outriders, Thanos is is disposable suit soldiers in this movie, overpowering the Hulkbuster suit, and it falls down. Do we think at that point Bruce Banner is going to Hulk out, burst out of the suit, and just destroy everyone around him?
Absolutely. I think leading up to that point, he won't be able to. I think something will have stopped him, and the near-death experience will cause him to Hulk out.
That is, of course, if he's actually in the suit and not piloting it from some other safe location. True, but it's him.
I think it's got to be him, hasn't it?
Yeah, it would be great if it was. This is an interesting GIF. It's called Vision's Final Moments. Could we be witnessing the Vision's final moments in a scene which is clearly set in Wakanda? The Vision and the Scarlet Witch share a rather concerned look that could be because Thanos is finally about to get his hands on the Mind Stone, leaving the android dead and gone in the process.
Yeah, kill him off. Dead. Don't care about him. Not interested.
I have to say, I don't think... It is a real shame because the Vision is such an interesting character in the comic books. I don't think they've really done enough with him in the MCU. In Ultron, he's he comes in and sort of saves the day, and then that's
last 20 minutes, last 25 minutes, he's in that. Really? Or
yeah,
a bit more than that?
Yeah.
He seems like cannon fodder to me.
In Civil War, he's sort of used a little bit as a sort of to comedic effect.
Yeah.
He does have a very good scene with Clint, with Hawkeye, and with Wanda. Hawkeye, remind me about that in a second. But yeah, he doesn't really do an awful lot. Yes, okay, he accidentally sort of, shoots Rhodes out of the sky, War Machine out of the sky, and disables him. He didn't mean to do it, though. Yeah, I do think that he's not long for the MCU.
No.
Which is a shame. This would be his third move, and if he signed a contract to do 3 as the Vision, this is it. Basically, he's up. Yeah. Maybe 4. Anyway, we'll see. But no, I think he's gone. The next one is... it's like Peter looking between Drax and Tony Stark and Star-Lord when they're having the, like you said, Nate, the funny moment where Star-Lord is saying, Your plan's great, except that it sucks. Let me do the plan, and maybe it won't suck so much. That was a good scene.
This is Peter being our way into these heroes. You know, he's the kid in the room with the big men talking, and yeah, it's good to see.
Yeah, definitely. I don't like Peter Parker's hair. It's too long.
Big hair.
He needs a haircut.
No, I like it.
No, don't. Okay, so anyone who doesn't know, our friend JB has very very tight curly hair. He doesn't have tight curly hair. He has very wavy long hair, and he needs a bloody haircut, mate. Is what he needs. Picture Nate when his hair gets too long, and it's worse than that, I think.
Wow.
Now, it's happening now.
Is it? Get a haircut, and then finally
My final thought on the trailer is that there's no Hawkeye in it.
There is no Hawkeye in it, none at all.
I also want to say that at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and I've just forgotten Gamora's sister's name, Nebula. She's like, I'm going to go and find Thanos, and I'm kicking off.
Nebula's not in it either.
She's not in it,
Yeah.
and I would bet that she's gonna. I'm going to say she's going to crop up somewhere in the movie towards the end.
Agree.
Good shout. Maybe saving people, thus completing her arc from bad guy in Guardians 1 to sort of in the middle in Guardians 2 to maybe hero in
I would
Infinity
not
War.
say her hero. I would just say her goal is to try and smash Thanos.
Yeah, which she can't. And I think that if she does show up in this movie, she's probably going to die. Again, it's her third MCU film. If she signed a contract for 3, this is it. She's up. She's done.
But there's not a lot of Drax the Destroyer either.
No, that's true. But I don't know, honestly, how much the Guardians of the Galaxy are going to be on Earth, if at all.
No, sure.
It would be good if they did, but that might happen in Avengers 4, whatever it's called. So that's the trailer.
Yeah.
It's pretty bloody good, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
I mean, we've broken it into all over the place. It's all gone. You know, the gifs that we've talked about on this comicbookmovie.com page, they've put them all over the place. But who cares? You know, we had a great time talking about this.
Yes, we did.
James and I are going to go and watch this movie together because we love each other. And we've booked time off work.
Yes, we have.
Probably shouldn't be saying that in case your wife listens to this.
No, I've checked with her now.
You've checked, it's fine. But we've put the afternoon off work, and we're going to walk down the road and watch it together, and then we're going to talk about it, and then we're going to watch it again probably the next day or so, too, hopefully with Nate. Nate, you're going to go and watch it with that Italian friend of yours, aren't you?
Yeah, this is breaking news for you guys, but we're watching it on the Friday night.
Oh, no.
What are we going to do? Does that mean we're meeting on Saturday? Do we need to take this off?
Let's take this offline.
Should we take this
offline? That's the end of the topic for this week. We've talked about the Avengers Infinity War trailer, the main trailer they've done, trailer 2 I've called it, whatever. We loved it. Tell us what you think. I'm pretty sure you all loved it. I'm pretty sure everyone on the internet loved it, really. What it has done is when they released this trailer, they also released a poster, which I quite liked, and it's the image for this podcast. Also, tickets went on sale worldwide. And say again?
Smart move.
Very smart move. And I'm pretty sure that it's broken all the records for pre-ticket sales that are in existence. I couldn't tell you exactly what those numbers are, but Nate will be able to do that next week.
I bet you will.
Next week, yeah.
There you go. Right, that's it. I've already done where you can find us on social media, but basically, just to repeat, it's Twitter, it's Facebook, it's Instagram, it's YouTube. This podcast is available on iTunes and Spotify, and you can also grab it on our blog, which is nerdschatting.com. You can also buy a t-shirt with our face on it if you click on the link in the episode description. What else can you do? You can leave us an iTunes review if you want to. That'd be great. 1 star, live your life. 5 stars would be lovely. Also, I want to say, because we're doing, this is the Infinity War trailer breakdown, I've came back from London with some gifts from Forbidden Planet, and when we review Infinity War, we will be giving away some presents. More on that on social media throughout the month of April.
How exciting.
Thank you. That's how it's done, JP. It's not my first time teasing people with prizes on a podcast. I'm going to say thanks so much for tuning in. I've been Ben. This has been James.
James.
This has been Nate.
Nate.
And we'll see you next week. Bye.
Cheerio.
Bye.